Emmy Award What Ifs. Pose creator shares speech he would have given had the show won. Many of the LGBTQ community are still furious over the total snub that Pose received at the Primetime Emmys. And if you've been watching this week, you know that our production team is part of that crowd. The show was nominated for 5 awards, and keeping up with this year's unofficial theme, hashtag Emmys So White, they didn't win any of them. If they had won, as they should have, creator Steven Canals shared his acceptance speech. Tonight, we're just going to pretend they won. So here's the speech. The reason I get to stand up here as an openly queer Afro-Latino person is because of my ancestors. In 1969, the fight for trans and queer liberation reached a fever pitch, built on the backs of women who happened to be trans and lesbian, who happened to be Black and Latina. And so I want to honor Marsha P Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Miss Major, and Stormé DeLarverie. And that work continues today with Mj Rodgriguez, Dominique Jackson, Indya Moore, Hailie Sahar, Angelica Ross, Our Lady J, and Janet Mock, end quote.
Hmm.
And the Emmy goes to Raji.
No, but did you see how touched she
beautiful.
was? Raji was. Did it touch you reading those words?
It really did, and I actually feel like crying because I can just imagine if the show had won at least one award, and him saying this speech in front of the world. I mean, it's a powerful thing, and it's true. We stand on the shoulders. You know, and one day people will stand on our shoulders. And it's a very true thing. And I think it was so wonderful and powerful, again, I have to say that word, that he would name those people. Name Marsha P Johnson. Name Sylvia Rivera. You know, calling their names. They're long gone. But they live on because of the work they did. And so I'm very disappointed because out of 5 nominations, they should have at least gotten one.
Listen, they got robbed. Recount, okay? Recount that stuff. That was way too white. The Crown isn't that interesting. I'm sorry, Al.
I enjoyed The Crown, but I don't want to get back to that conversation. But I mean, one could say at least they got the nominations.
Yeah,
I mean, but
true.
Still.
But let me ask you though, do you think it's because Pose is like one of those like sub type of popular shows? And when I say that, I have white gay friends that I asked, oh my God, like, are you watching Pose? They had no idea what Pose was.
I do have
I'm
friends
like, how do you not know what Pose is?
It's very niche in its content, but it's very universal. Once you see it, you know it's not just about ballroom and...
John, you've done a lot of reporting in entertainment. What do you think about the Emmys and Pose?
Pose is an amazing show. But everything is so fragmented right now. I think there were like 800 different shows and, you know, streaming network, all that stuff, that voters can't see everything.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to vote, and so they're going to first watch the shows that entertain them and, or, you know, that speak to them. And if Pose, like we said, it was a very neat show, then they're not going to get the eyeballs of the Academy. And so I really feel that kind of played a role in it. There's just so much fragmentation, and there really haven't been a lot of events. You know, the studios will, more so for the movies, but also around the Emmys, they'll hold meet and greets for voting members with the stars and things like that. And they weren't able to do that this year at the level that they have been able to do it in the past. And that certainly hurt shows like Pose.
But it wasn't Pose's first year. It was their final year.
And also, Billy did win. He won.
Billy Porter had, you know, won in the past.
Yeah, you know, I think the exclamation point of the Emmys that took place on Sunday, at least from our small point of view at Queer News Tonight, we take a moment to recognize this hashtag that has received worldwide attention, the hashtag #EmmySoWhite. It really does say volumes in just 3 words.
Yeah.
And second, we take a moment to, we're so lucky to have Raji here tonight to be able to read Canals' acceptance speech, because it is one thing to read it, it is another thing completely to hear it. And I'm very proud of Queer News Tonight and you, Raji, to be able to do that, because we want to send our respects to what Pose did for 5 years for our community. Pose will never be forgotten, even though the fringe or whatever we may define it as, it will never be forgotten.
You always do this to me, Al.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.